Hi, everybody. Susan Odell here. I'm CEO of 80/20 CS, and I specialize in helping companies operationalize transformation and change. And I'm going to be completely honest on this first integrated strength training change management video that I've been struggling with. How do I be authentically me and actually enjoy increasing my volume of social media posts? And I haven't been able to figure it out until a meeting that I had yesterday where generated an epiphany for me late last night. And that was there is an absolute correlation and connection between strength training and change management transformation. It's so obvious. And so I'm going to share more around what it is that I do and the value that I bring, and I'm going to make it fun by integrating it into strength training elements. And so it's 2024 budget planning time, and there's two ways that I can help organizations. One is right now as you're making your final decisions in terms of how you're going to invest in your transformation and change initiatives in 2024. I would be more than thrilled to be able to, lend an ear to that. And my experience and background, pretty significant. You can go and read more about that later as you lock those things down in terms of what is feasible and what is not feasible realistically for 2024. And then obviously when you get into 2024, my business is all about helping you actually succeed so that your change initiatives that you had in the strategic plan back in 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, that keep rolling over because you haven't solved it, that doesn't happen again next year. That the things you put into your plan for 2024, it's a reasonable list and you have a way to execute and sustain those changes. So I won't go through a narrative today. I just wanted to introduce you to this concept of integrating strength and the crossover is just ridiculous, right? So this is an 8 kilogram kettlebell. And as you can see, I could walk with this all day. It's not a big deal. And this is, the metaphor for small change projects that might happen within one function in your business that when you do make that change, it's not going to affect anybody else in the organization. It's only going to affect that particular department. You don't need my help for that. That's something you can manage 100%. This is a 12 kilogram kettlebell. And think about this in terms of a change that you're going to make within one function. Let's say sales, it's a sales process that you need to collaborate with marketing because there is a dependency. Top of the funnel activity and how that gets transferred into sales and then what sales is going to do with it, as an example. Maybe it's one department additional to yours that is affected. So, it's getting a little bit heavier, but it's not that big of a deal. And then we get up to the 35-pound kettlebell, and this is where the change that needs to be made is more pervasive. So maybe you are expanding to a new territory. That's going to affect not only sales and marketing, it's going to affect finance, right? Do you need to localize currency? It's going to affect engineering. Do you need to port the code to support a particular region in the character set in your code, as an example? So things are getting a little bit more dicey, and you're going to need to transition and balance the weight so you can carry it long term. That's one example. And then we've got a 48-pound kettlebell, and this is representative of a change that might be cultural. Or it might be we're going to acquire a new business that's going to completely change how we go to market. We're going to have to integrate leadership teams. The impact is much more significant. So with this type of a change, your approach has got to be very different than the departmental change that no one else is going to be affected except for that single department. And then I've got a couple of other fun tools here. This is a mace. It's a 10-pound mace. And all the weight is in the bottom of the tool. And so even though this mace actually weighs less than this kettlebell, because the weight is at another end, you have different muscles that are going to enable you to balance that weight differently because gravity is pulling on it. So you might have two change initiatives that look kind of similar, but they're not. And it's that nuance that you have to understand if you're going to be successful. And then again, this is a 4 kilogram club, and there's swing routines that you do to help build muscles that typically aren't worked the same way with a more stable weight. And so once again, This is much lighter. It's half the weight of the little kettlebell, but it's harder to use because it's not balanced equally from side to side. So you're engaging muscles differently. So I think you can see where I'm going to go with this in terms of the analogies between strength training and change management. So to finish, if you are, and I know a lot of you are, involved in 2024 planning, you haven't locked it down yet, I'm available through two modes of engagement. I would encourage you to go to 8020cs.com, that's 8020cs.com, to learn more about what I do, more about my background, and why I'm like a seasoned person when it comes to transformative change, and specifically operationalizing it, not theoretical, but how do you push transformation and change into the business? Two modes of engagement, successful change workshop, and that's where I come in as an independent and work with leadership and management teams, different levels, but around the same change initiative to help them align, to measure buy-in, and to make sure that the plan of change, that there's an execution plan in place, there's accountability, and that it will be sustainable. The other mode of engagement is as a trusted advisor, and that's obviously more of an hourly rate for individual leaders as well as for leadership teams that might want me to lean in as a virtual COO to help, just bring my experience and add to the experiences already on the team. So I'm going to have a lot of fun with this. It's going to be sharing knowledge, but in a really fun way. I hope you enjoyed this first session and much more to come. Okay, so thanks so much. Have a great day and learn more, 8020cs.com. Bye.